Yeah, big welcome to you, my dear Aries. So the Earth has continued its path, and we see behind the Sun now the constellation Virgo, and the Moon as well has continued its path around the Earth, and we see behind the Moon the constellation Aries. Today we're going to the right because you're getting a full moon in the next month, when Libra Sun is highlighting your full moon. And that's to the outer, as far out as you can imagine, and that's that human evolution, right? We want to go out, we want to see, we want to explore, and then from the full moon we go back within to the new moon, and that I will read then to the left. So today you get all your cards from left to right, and then after your next reading you will have, of course, then all the readings until the next full moon again read to the left. So the combination here is that Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and it's the 6th house of health, and health is really important. So there is a highlighting into the health issues that you might have or face, and you are ruled by Mars, right? And you are the 1st house of self. So recognize that Virgo is giving you the power now to really see yourself from an inner perspective, because that's what Virgo does. Virgo is more introverted, you are more extroverted. The yoga position for Virgo is here, Tadasana, mountain pose. We see how Virgo is actually past and future in the present moment, recognizing there's only now. And for you, since your body part is the brain, I give you meditation, looking in all 4 directions, because you're card number 4, and recognizing that everything begins within you, right? By maybe first a thought, but usually more like an action, because you're you're the fire. So this just to Sun and Moon today in this constellation, which exists only once a year. And that's why I do the reading exactly on the day where the moon is in your sign. Your court card is the Queen of Wands. Is your birthday between March 12th and April 9th, then she is your court card. If not, please look in the description below, because I have listed all the cards there. Sometimes you could be the one before the Queen of Wands or after the Queen of Wands. Then back to the last reading where you had Leo Sun highlighting Aries Moon. The message was the Lion's Gate on the 8/8 will bring you an important message. So for me, I always include the last reading, particularly what I see, the 3 pictures that I posted in the front, because everything is cyclical, right? And I have sometimes realized that there is an interaction actually from the last to the current situation, and there has been a shift, or I mean, it's really interesting, because I think it's important that we acknowledge the fact that everything is cyclical, right? And even in a reading we can see how these cards are really like interacting in a very powerful way. And so many times I have noticed that the message has continued from the last reading. Good, I'm gonna pick one more card, which is the Live Through My Healing Oracle. Here we have the rune alphabet in it, and this is my latest deck that I have purchased. And this deck is on the position of the Judgment, or the New Age, right? Or the awakening to the New Age. And so here comes the number 77. Hammer, Humfreld. It's really interesting. I have sometimes a hard time say the words that are written here. What I love about this card is the arrow that's pointing up and the arrow that's pointing down, and at the same time there's this portal here with the rainbow, and then the text here. You have a portal here with the 77. The 7 is the 7th chakra. And the 7th chakra sometimes misleads us to think now we have arrived in our spiritual path, and oh boy, we get then quite sometimes a lecture or a message that's saying, no, you have not arrived, right? You cannot stay stuck with the fact that you maybe had an enlightened moment and now you behave a certain way, right? It's like this is what's so fascinating about all of it. It's constantly cyclical, it's constantly changing, and change is the only constant energy there is. And that's an oxymoron in itself. So this is the Bifrost or the journey home. I'm going to hold it into the camera so you can stop the video and enlarge it and read it yourself. Living light paths, theories of strings and strands, fragile, frayed threads, warp and weft, all left empty through knowing love is all. Peaceful vibrations bridging worlds and all journeys leading to the same destination. All our leaves lifted by the solar wind and sailing home, charted by stars to birth once more with the sacred Yggdrasil tree. Welcome home. It's kind of like, looks like I'm in an underwater world. I really like this card because it's powerful. It's really like speaking about the fact that now the 20, this, I am going up, but I also have to come down, right? This is the last judgment here in this deck. In the Ethereal Vision deck, I have listed also all the decks that I'm using, and you particularly have this deck. So the 2, right? It's kind of like saying there are 2 sevens. That's just then a 77, 2 times the creativity in the enlightenment to see that, yes, I have to go up, but I also have to go down. I can go to the right, but I also can go to the left. Good, so let's begin the reading on the position of the Fool. Right, that foolish idea that all of a sudden comes to us is the 9 of Pentacles, and that's connected with the constellation Venus in Virgo. You have Sun in Virgo, highlighting your moon, and so Virgo is speaking to you about beauty, about independence, about standing like a goddess in your own garden. And you see how the Fool is taking actually the step into the left spinning. Left spinning is soul, is to the new moon, and right spinning is human, is to the full moon. So you take that leap of faith, right? In your mind, there comes this like independence, a feeling of independence that you want to take in a spiritual way, right? Because the 9 is then here connected with Virgo. And here we have Luca Pacioli. This is Salvador Dali's deck, and he was a scholar and the discoverer of the modern bookkeeping. He loved numbers, right? He was totally a calculating artist. And I can see that, right? Virgo's fascination by neatness and also by having everything really put into numbers. So the 9, right? The 9-9 in a way comes to you, and so you're taking that leap of faith into becoming independent. On the position then of the Magician comes here the flow, the number 20. With the 1, it's a 21, and that's the world. Then the world is yours. It's you looking into the 9 of Pentacles. And he is looking at you and he's saying, yeah, create infinitely, because it's almost like an 8 here, this portal that he is looking at you, then the world is yours. If you use the knowledge that comes to you here as the Nine of Pentacles, right? Venus in Virgo, there is this orderliness, there is this understanding that money needs attention as well, right? It's a coin. It's a material energy. It's the earth gives us everything so that we can actually create out of that a business. And so then you come into a flow, then you come into a state of consciousness that says, well, the 20 came to you. The 20, because on the position of the 20, you had the 77 coming up, right? And it's almost like saying, yes, this up and down, this understanding of how everything functions brings you into a flow, and then calculated together you get the world, right? You have the high priestess and the magician connected, and then you get the empress, which gives birth to everything. On the position then of the high priestess comes the Knight of Wands. This is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the warrior, and I feel this is speaking to you directly. You are feeling like a warrior. You feel like you need your independence. You need to be in your flow. Something is pushing you to really be independent, because Virgo is creating deep within itself a tantric union of masculine and feminine. And so in the month of Virgo, we feel very independent. We feel very much like, well, I can handle this, right? And so you are the warrior. And so Sagittarius is the 9th zodiac sign. And here comes another 9, right? So you had the 9 of Pentacles, and now you have the 9th zodiac sign. With the 2 creates an 11. And 11 is then a portal. That portal is giving you information, and the information of I am intuitive and I will listen to my intuition while I'm actually active, going out there and doing what I love doing most, which is taking action, right? You love to take action, you love to do things because you're the wand, right? But you rather let other people do the things for you, right? You're a little bit more like, that's why you're the emperor, right? On the position of the empress comes the Hierophant here, Le Pape. These are French cards. And the 5 and the 3 is an 8. So you are giving birth then to a spiritual teaching that you have understood in terms of the philosophy that Sagittarius brings to you, the warrior that goes out and does the research, wants to know, and is inquisitive about his intuition. And so he goes out there and he's like, okay, I want to know. And so now you can teach, you can become a spiritual teacher, because the 5 are the 5 senses. And through the 5 senses, which are doors and windows to the outer, but also the inner world, you can bring the information to the people, and you can see the 3 people in here. And so the number 3 of the Empress is strong, right? Is letting you know, yeah, then you have understood something. Then you can teach that. You can bring that to other people. Then on the position of the Emperor came the Fool. And the Fool is, yes, okay, I'm going foolishly enough into the spiritual teachings, and I want to know how it feels to have really a spiritual knowledge, and so I can be more powerful. And that first step that you're taking into the spiritual world now is backed up by an understanding that you know that Virgo has pushed you to that place, to the 9 of Pentacles, right? And that you have gotten into the flow, and that you have learned whatever there is to learn. And now you even like, okay, you're going to teach that. And it's something new, right? It's something that you never thought of, that you could be a teacher. But you're an emperor. An emperor teaches in general, but just by being the way he is, people look up to him and say, well, I want to be like him. So I think there is something speaking to you, and on a spiritual level, you are taking that step. Then, on the position of the Queen of Wands, comes the Chariot. And the Chariot is the 7, so you have a 777 portal now, with this beautiful energy, right? The understanding everything that's up also is down, and everything that is down is up. And there's 0 in between, and you really know that there is either a Cancer that is inspiring you to take that path forward. Lovingly, you want to be successful. Lovingly, you understand that the work needs to be done. You take action. You, the first zodiac sign with the 7, is then an 8. And 8 is the infinite symbol, right? That we know, well, everything keeps coming and going. And so here, you recognizing the success lies deep within. And he's facing as well the soul cycle, right? That on a soul level, you know that when I understand my soul, I'm more successful out there in this world. On the position of the Hermit comes here Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali brings you the constellation Moon in Libra, and Libra is opposite of you. Libra is the sign that is giving you then the full moon in the next reading. And we can see that knowledge that we gain by becoming peaceful with the dualities deep within, like the star that is here in his lantern is 2 triangles interlacing. The hexagram, or the Star of David, is one of the most powerful symbols, right? Uniting masculine and feminine. And so here you get Virgo letting you know that something is telling you that in the beginning of summer, right? Because you are a cardinal sign. You begin spring, and Cancer begins summer. And in the beginning of summer, you felt that you wanted to be successful in the way you are bringing now the spiritual message to the people. The philosophy, right? You're not fighting, you are bringing philosophy to the people. And so you need to understand what the 2 of Swords means. It's that inside of me I will always have a yes and a no. So what I'm going to do with it, right? When I have a question, am I going to do yes or am I going to do no? And the 2 of Swords creates then with the flow a 2-2 portal. 2 times 2 is being creative in your creativity. Then on the position of the Moon comes here the Magician's Sword, the confidence in your magic. So you have 2 swords. When you understand these 2 swords, that duality is there. Duality, we cannot just say, all right, just leave. No, duality is part of this dimension. And you're getting that one sword, the Magician's Sword, and on the position of the Magicians came the flow, right? When you flow between the dualities in your mind, in your doing, in everything, right? Then you get the magic, and that's what the Moon is bringing to you. That one magic sword, the number 3 and the 7. The 3 is the Empress, and on the position of the Empress came the High Priest, and the High Priest is teaching about all of this, right? It's teaching about numerology, about astrology, about anything, right, to make our life so that we have a better understanding of this complex life out there. And then again, the 7, right? We had the 77 here. You have here this arrow that's going up and the arrow that's going down. And you have this 7. So you have 4 times the 7, right? Calculated together, it's the 10, it's the new cycle, it's that new one. It's that 1 coin up there underneath our 8, right? So you understand always the 1 and only. And the 18 is opposite of Virgo. It's Pisces, right? The 18 is the 9. And so the 10 and the 9 is a 19, and that's the sun, that's the success, that's the clarity, and that's becoming a 1 again. So there's the 1 left, the one and only sword, the one and only idea, the one and only that you decided to come into the center of these 2 swords. Because then on the position of the sun comes here the wind, the change, and the 24. The 2 is the high priestess and the 4 is you. So on the position of the high priestess, you had the philosophy of Sagittarius, right? Go and get up and don't sit on your throne, but learn. Learn what you can learn and begin whatever it is that you want to begin, right? Begin new things, begin to learn, begin to understand, because philosophy is also spirituality in a very interesting way. And so you learning that is going to help you, because on the 4 of the Emperor came the Fool. So a new beginning, right? She's facing the cycle. It's like it's sucking you in. The more you learn in philosophy, the more it sucks you in, right? And it's really liberating, but at the same time also makes you realize all the things that are attached to it, and there's only just one bird, one sword in the end, right? But the sun, the 19, becomes a 10, and of course the 6 becomes a 16, and the 16 is the tower. The 16 becomes a 7. So then you have here the 7 and the 77 3 times, with this then 4 times. I'm not putting the 7 in of the here because it's a 37, right? It's not a singular 7, and when I calculate together I get a 10. So you have 4 times the 7. And that's the heart telling you that now you, even though it's sucking you in to bring you more clarity, right? The wind is connected with the sword. The wind is connected with this kind of learning. And then you realize, oh my God, there's so much to learn. But also focus just on this one bird, because then you understand. And then you're getting on the position of the world, you get another 7. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the 7. And then the world, the 21 is the 3, and the 7 is a 10. You again get a 10-10 portal. And you realize, right, that you are learning very clearly that something out of this pool is giving you the push to be successful, is giving you the push to have the success, right? Because it's a new cycle that you're starting to be in the success and then expressing this to the world. Because you had 9 pentacles and 7 pentacles is 16. 16 is the tower things, or the old things had to go so that you can do new things. And so the 7 is left. And you understand, right? The 7 here through the pentacles, you get 6 times the 7. If I calculated this, then you have 7 times the 7, right? So 7 times the 7, it's like, okay, we're here, right? 7 times 7. You're here, up and down, right and left. Understand that you know that here something is really talking to you and giving you the power, that everything goes up and down, right and left. But once you're in the center where your heart is, where your gut is, where you know, right? Virgo, it's the gut, it's the health, where your health is, where your strength is. Then you understand that when the cycle closes, right, that these 16 coins, right, can change things, can break things. And then 7 coins are left, and 7 coins is like, do the work. And when we do the work, right, everything comes back to us. When we love what we do, right, when we love that the work that we do is not work, the work that we do is, it's something that I have to do and I want to do and I love to do it, then you can make your living from it, right? Then it's not work, then it's love, right? Love expresses itself in such a way to you that you are now here then coming into a 10, into a new cycle, into a new energy that is wanting to express itself. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because then you get your full moon reading. You have Libra here, moon in Libra constellation, the 2 of Swords, right? We're going to see what is occupying your mind there. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.